Paul Harrell, weekdays from 4 to 6. Learn more at paulharrell.com.
Folks, welcome back to the program. We have, with the Arkansas Tea Party Alliance and the chairman of the Faulkner County Tea Party, Mr. David Crow joins us again. David, welcome back.
Paul, thank you so much. Glad to be back.
Yes, sir. Real quick, I just want to pick your brain. What are your thoughts on what's going on in D.C. now? They got to 51 votes to begin debate on the Obamacare Repeal bill. Have you been following this?
I have been following it ever since about 8 years ago. And it is, well, I'll tell you what, that is a swamp up there, and I think that the sewer analogy is appropriate as well. But I have been following it. I am just stunned that it takes the Vice President of the United States to step in and cast the last vote to take it over the hump, for them just to have a conversation about something they said they were going to do repeatedly over 7 years. Mm-hmm. It is just beyond imagination. I am just shocked beyond belief, and just to hear some of the discussions that are ongoing on the radio and such of that nature, and it just it's so surprising that
you're right. And I'm staring at a headline right now. This was published a little while ago. So Susan Collins is from Maine. She is not on board with the repeal idea. This is from Fox News. Susan Collins, Republican from Maine, apologized to Representative Blake Farenthold, a Republican from Texas, after she was caught on a hot mic making derogatory comments about Farenthold at the end of a Senate hearing on Tuesday. Quote, neither weapons nor inappropriate words are the right way to resolve legislative debates, Collins said in a statement. I received a handwritten apology from Representative Farenthold late this morning. I accept his apology, and I offer him mine. So she's overheard on this hot mic calling him fat and unattractive. And listen, this is what dawned on me. It's essentially high school. High school never ends, and that's kind of an answer to your question as to why they can't get anything done up there. Because, I mean, high schoolers have trouble getting things done. They might have more luck than adults at this point. So, right,
and it's it's like herding cats, and they just don't seem to have a common message. You thought that they had a common message for 7 years where they were going to repeal Obamacare. And now it was difficult to even get the 52 people to come together to just have an affirmative vote on just starting the conversation. So, but maybe it's going down the right path. The president had said that he understood that this was probably the hard vote. Now the conversation can begin, and they can start making some legitimate, put some legitimate options on the table, so that they can get on to, ratifying some bill that they then can either take to committee or take a pass back over to the House.
Yeah.
But it certainly is going to take a lot of effort on their part. Then you've got the August, the entire month, vacation staring them in the face, and I think it literally took that to actually get them to make a vote. And who knows what will happen now? If it has to bump to the House, I guess the House has indicated they would come back.
Yeah.
If the Senate would do something. So I don't know what's going to happen, but at least it's headed in the right direction. And then next up is a budget.
Yes.
And
taxes, hopefully.
Tax reform and tax cuts. And I'm excited about that.
I really hope they make the taxes retroactive, to this year.
I do too.
That'd be nice.
Hey, I was listening to some guys on the TV today. They said that the tax cuts that are proposed or they're being considered are actually not factored into the market yet. And then we've seen 29 new highs in the market ever since inauguration.
Yeah.
And this thing is smoking hot, but it's a earnings-driven market right now.
Yeah.
And they said that 76% of the companies reporting now are exceeding expectations and forecast. So like Donald Trump said, is we're going to get sick and tired of winning. I'm not sick and tired of winning yet. I could stand about 3 or 4 more years of winning.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I'm excited to see. This is weird to say, how combative he is being and other people are being with the press, but I mean, it has to happen at this point when you just look at how unfair their coverage is, and it's really just because they lost and they're trying to take their ball and go home, and but that's interesting. So last week I had you on, and we were talking a little bit about Governor Hutchinson. He's been asking Senator Bozeman, Senator Cotton to essentially try to find a way to secure Medicaid funding for Arkansas, even though, everybody knew that it was going to go away eventually. John Brummett, an Asa Hutchinson apologist now, which I never thought I would say that. He's, in the media throwing a fit about Senator Cotton, Senator Bozeman voting the way the people wanted him to vote. But we were on the program last week, David, and you were mentioning the fact that you'll have to hear Senator Cotton say himself that he actually did what Asa was giving him credit for, which was, the Medicaid expansion block grant. And I reached out to their office, and they really didn't confirm or deny it. I think they were trying to be polite and essentially saying, "Hey, we've relayed Asa's concerns up the chain to leadership," but they did not take credit specifically for securing the Medicaid block grant for expansion, which ASA still doesn't support the bill. So, I mean, have you followed that anymore? And are you proud of how Tom Cotton and John Bozeman are doing exactly what they said they were going to do so far?
Well, I'm definitely proud that they voted to start the conversation for the repeal, and I'm thrilled about that. It'll be interesting to see what discussions occur throughout the rest of this week. I am a skeptic that the Senators Cotton and Bozeman did exactly what the governor mentioned that they did. I can't believe that they would do that and made it more difficult for them to pass the legislation that was being proposed by the Senate. But time will tell. But I'm really, really happy that Cotton and Bozeman voted in favor of the repeal legislation that's being considered right now before the Senate.
Yeah, me too.
It's a good thing. It's a very good thing that both of our senators stepped up and did that.
Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, what do you make of this? Like when John Brummett, I have this story. He's got a story out about irrelevancy. Yeah, John Brummett, irrelevancy in D.C., and in it he talks about how Tom Cotton and John Bozeman are betraying Governor Hutchinson if they go ahead and vote for this thing. I mean, what do you make of that?
Well, it's John Bozeman is upset because
you mean John Brummett? John Brummett.
Oh, John Brummett is upset because they're not going to keep Obamacare like it is in the state of Arkansas, and Asa Hutchinson is an advocate for keeping it the way it is. And for them to vote in favor of the repeal is contrary to what the governor desires. Mm-hmm. He wants to maintain Arkansas Works, and it's just it's regretful that our Republican governor is pushing that issue and wants to continue that, keep on that program in place that's put an additional 300,000 people on expanded Medicare.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that too is causes me to realize that we've got our own swamp in Little Rock, and we need to get it changed down there. It's just it's a big mess.
The exact quote in this piece that he wrote, he said it was a betrayal of his state. Now, earlier, I think in other publications or on Twitter, he talked about I don't know if he said betraying the governor, but he's dancing along those lines about. And I just how can you make that argument when John Brummett, one of the most liberal columnists in the state, he knows that John Bozeman campaigned twice against Obamacare and repealing it. He knows Tom Cotton campaigned in the House and then in the Senate. I mean, so how can he say our state's being betrayed when Republicans have been talking about getting rid of Medicaid expansion for several election cycles now. It just doesn't compute to me.
Well, he's a liberal. It's just, what else can I say? The man is liberal, and he's going to advocate for the liberal agenda. The regretful thing is that out of that, in that same article, he lifts up Hutchison for his position for the liberal Obamacare, and it's just, and if people truly stand back and just read it, it's amazing. Here's the other thing too: over the years, all of the legislature that voted in favor of private option, that wanted to continue to expand, and it has done so with Arkansas Works, have said all along, we're only doing this until the legislature, the Congress and the presidency makes the decision to repeal Obamacare.
Yes, exactly.
And so that's been their talking points for all these years of why they had to do what they did. But they need to fix it in Washington, D.C. Wow. And as soon as they try to fix it in Washington, D.C., what does our governor do? He comes out against what they're doing up there to fix it, which all of us have indicated for years and years and years. We need to kill Obamacare.
You're exactly right.
Just,
I'm really glad you made that point. It's an excellent point. I had forgotten about that, because anytime you offered criticism at Republicans who went along with Obama's signature domestic achievement and expanded and created a welfare program, the largest expansion of government in Arkansas history, anytime you did that, they say, hey, look, this is something we need to get the House, we need to get the Senate, we need to get the presidency, and then we need to repeal it. At the federal level, it's a D.C. problem. Even like John Burris on Twitter, if you ever criticize John Burris on Twitter, he would say, hey, just run for Congress, meaning it's not a state problem. You need to go to Congress if you want to deal with that. And so that's a great point. Now that we have all of that stuff, it's not good enough for the same faction, the same Republican faction in Arkansas, which I'm going to loop former representative and John Burris, who lost to Scott Flippo in with Asa Hutchinson, because it's all this kind of a cesspool there. You just raised a great point, David. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, it's the point, because they continue to make it to us, and it really almost cut off the talking discussions back and forth with them throwing that back out at us, and so now we're to a point where that is going to occur, and the senator, the governor, and many of the legislators are saying that they shouldn't do that. So that's regretful, very regretful.
So we're talking with David Crow from the Arkansas Tea Party Alliance. The reason we're talking to him is because we've got the third annual Arkansas Tea Party Alliance convention coming up Saturday, September the 16th. We still got plenty of time to get tickets, folks. If you want to get tickets, you go to our Facebook page. We've got it pinned at the top. It's facebook.com/Paul Talk Show. That's the Paul Harrell Program Facebook page. And there's a link to the Eventbrite page. Tickets are $30, and it's from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, September the 16th, at the Doubletree. Is that correct?
That's correct. The Doubletree, and also the Robinson Auditorium, brand new banquet facilities. It is going to be one heck of a day. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of good opportunity to mix with the folks from around the state. So please come out.
Yeah, and the theme is always liberty doesn't matter. That's what people are going to be talking about. Of course, you and I, David, we believe liberty does matter. It's what a crazy idea. It
does. Yeah, it's a crazy idea. And boy, I tell you, I meant to say this earlier. The Calvin Coolidge Awards banquet was top drawer the other night. Super, super, super.
I had a blast as well.
Really enjoyed that. But boy, I tell you what, the Arkansas Tea Party Alliance convention is the place to be on September the 16th. And I hope people will come out and enjoy the Mike Gallagher and Pastor Iverson Jackson and the legislative panel of Miller Sullivan and Linda Collins Smith, and another senator hopefully will join them. And then AFP, Family Council, Acre, and Conduit, we're going to be there with us, and should have a great day.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and you don't have to be a member of a Tea Party to attend. If you're conservative, if you want limited government, if you want to see that positive change, you're going to meet a lot of great people, a lot of great minds, and get a ton of great information. It's the Arkansas Tea Party Alliance, September 16th, and tickets, you can get them at facebook.com/Paul Talk Show. Just click on the link that's pinned at the very top of the page. David Crow, as always, sir, you have a mind focused on liberty, and it's always enlightening to talk to you.
Thank you, Paul. Look forward to next week, man.
All righty. Folks, we're going to take a break. The Liberty Machine that we're building here rolls on, and we'll be back in just a moment.